It's 2 in the morning. The city outside is quiet, but in this small pool of light from a laptop screen, an entire world is being built. The coffee next to the keyboard is cold. A lanyard from a 9-to-5 job lies discarded on the desk. This is the modern workshop. This is the second shift. For millions of us, this is the reality of the side hustle. It's not about glamour, it's about necessity. It's about making just enough extra to cover rent, to ease the pressure of student loans, to breathe a little easier in a world where the cost of living feels like a vertical climb. For a generation facing rising financial insecurity, a side project isn't a choice. It's a tool for survival. But what if that small, necessary act of survival is actually the seed of an empire? What if the thing you do to make ends meet could one day make you a millionaire? It sounds like a fantasy, but the path from a few extra dollars to a 7-figure valuation is more strategic than you think. It's a story of organic growth, smart decisions, and a critical shift in mindset. If you've ever wondered about the true potential of your own late-night project, make sure you're subscribed because we're about to draw the blueprint. One, the seed. From necessity to passion. Humble beginnings. This is the story of Alex, but in reality, it could be the story of any of us. By day, Alex worked a corporate job, reliable, stable, and soul-crushingly mundane. It was a world of beige cubicles and meetings that could have been emails. The paycheck was consistent, but it barely kept pace with the rising costs of city life. Like nearly half of Gen Z, Alex felt financially insecure and knew that one income stream was no longer enough. The motivation was simple and urgent, make an extra few $100s a month. That was the entire goal. Alex had a skill, a love for digital art, and a good eye for design. So, the side hustle was born not in a boardroom, but at a cluttered desk late at night. A small Etsy shop selling custom digital assets. Things like social media templates for other small creators, minimalist digital planners, and custom portraits drawn from photos. The startup cost was minimal, just time and existing software. This low-overhead model is the launchpad for so many digital entrepreneurs, a way to test an idea without risking capital you don't have. The first few weeks were silent. Alex would refresh the page, a knot of self-doubt tightening with every empty notification bell. The fear of failure, a major barrier for so many young entrepreneurs, was very real. And then it happened. A notification sound cuts through the late-night quiet. Cha-ching, the first sale. It was for a 15 social media template pack. After fees, the profit was barely enough for lunch, but its value wasn't monetary. That first sale was a signal. It was external validation that said, this thing you made, this idea you had, it has value to someone else. It was the first drop of rain on dry soil. A week later, another notification arrived. It wasn't a sale, but a 5-star review. The customer wrote, "These templates saved me so much time and made my feed look so professional. Thank you." Alex read the words over and over. And in that moment, a profound psychological shift began. The project, born from the cold calculus of financial necessity, was now sparking something else. The warm glow of fulfillment. This wasn't just about paying a bill anymore. It was about solving a problem for someone. It was about the pride of creation and the connection, however small, with a satisfied customer. This aligns perfectly with the deep-seated desire in Gen Z for purpose-driven work, for a career that offers more than just a paycheck. The initial phase of a side hustle isn't just a business venture, it's a validation engine. Those first few sales and positive reviews are the psychological fuel that transforms a chore into a passion, providing the resilience needed to push through the inevitable slow starts and setbacks. For Alex, the goal was no longer just about survival. A new, more powerful goal was emerging: to build something meaningful. A single seed had been planted. 2. Nurturing the growth, the business of a side hustle, scaling and reinvestment. For the next 6 months, Alex's life became a blur of 2 jobs. The 9-to-5 paid the bills, but the 5-to-9 and the weekends were where the real work happened. The Etsy shop was gaining traction. What started as 1 sale a week became 1 a day, then 5, then 10. The extra income was no longer just for groceries, it was significant. But with that growth came a new problem, a ceiling. Alex was working every spare hour, answering customer questions, creating new designs, and managing orders. Passion was driving the engine, but the engine was overheating. There are only so many hours in a day, and Alex had reached that limit. This is the critical inflection point where a passion project must either become a real business or remain a draining hobby. The first major test came at the end of a particularly profitable month. The shop had made over $500 in profit. The temptation was to spend it, a new pair of sneakers, a nice dinner out. But instead, Alex made a decision that marked the first true mindset shift from creator to entrepreneur. That entire profit was reinvested directly back into the business. Alex bought a professional-grade graphics tablet to work faster and produce higher-quality art, and a subscription to a premium suite of design software. This wasn't a sacrifice, it was a strategic allocation of capital. It was planting the profits back into the soil to ensure a bigger harvest next season. With better tools came more efficiency, but time was still the biggest bottleneck. Alex started to analyze the workflow, looking for repetitive, low-value tasks that could be streamlined. The same customer questions came up again and again, so Alex created a detailed FAQ document and an automated email response with a link to it. Manually creating and scheduling social media posts was eating up hours, so Alex started using a free scheduling tool to batch create a week's worth of content in one afternoon. This is process optimization in its purest form. It's not about expensive software, it's about identifying inefficiencies and implementing simple systems to buy back your time, freeing you up to focus on the high-value work that actually grows the business. In this case, designing new products. As the business became more efficient, Alex focused on the third pillar of growth, building a brand. It was no longer enough to just sell digital files. The shop needed an identity. Alex took the time to define the target audience. Other Gen Z creators and small business owners who valued authentic, minimalist aesthetics. A cohesive brand was built around this identity, a specific color palette, a consistent set of fonts, and a brand voice that was helpful, encouraging, and relatable. This transformed the shop from a random collection of products into a curated brand. Customers weren't just buying templates, they were buying into an aesthetic, a community. This is how you build a moat around your business, fostering a loyal customer base that comes back because they trust your brand, not just because you have the lowest price. 1 year after the first sale, the moment of truth arrived. Alex looked at a spreadsheet, and the numbers were undeniable. The side hustle had generated more income in the last month than the full-time job. The choice was terrifyingly clear. Stay with the safety of a guaranteed paycheck or take a calculated leap into the high-risk, high-reward world of full-time entrepreneurship. The seed had become a sapling, strong and healthy, but to grow into a tree, it needed full sunlight. 3. The blooming tree, the leap of faith and final growth, million-dollar mindset. Alex quit. The email was sent, the 2 weeks were served, and on a Monday morning, for the first time, there was no alarm, no commute, no cubicle. There was only a mix of profound liberation and sheer terror. The safety net was gone, but so were the limits. Every minute of effort, every ounce of creativity would now go directly into building their own dream. This is the moment the final and most critical mindset shift occurs. Alex was no longer a side hustler or even just a creator. Alex was now the CEO. This wasn't just a title change, it was a fundamental change in how time was spent. Instead of spending 90% of the day fulfilling orders, Alex now dedicates significant time to long-term strategy, market analysis, and financial planning. Where were the new market opportunities? What new product lines could be developed? Alex saw that many customers were asking for advice on how to use the digital templates effectively. This wasn't a distraction. It was a new revenue stream waiting to be unlocked. Within 6 months of going full-time, Alex launched a comprehensive online course teaching digital design basics for entrepreneurs. It was a higher ticket item that leveraged existing expertise and provided immense value to the established community. The business was no longer just selling products, it was selling knowledge. Soon after, Alex hired a part-time virtual assistant to handle all customer service inquiries and order processing, a strategic move to delegate tasks and leverage time for the highest impact activities. This freed Alex up to develop another product line, one-on-one brand consulting for other small businesses. The growth began to compound. The Etsy shop, the online course, and the consulting services created a diversified, resilient business. Each branch of the business fed the others, creating a powerful ecosystem. The journey from that first 15th in sale to the first $10,000 month had taken over a year. The journey from a $10,000 month to a $100,000 month took less than that. The business officially crossed the $1 million in revenue threshold just under 3 years after that first sale. The sapling had grown into a strong, flourishing tree, its branches reaching high. This wasn't a story of a viral fluke or a lucky break. It was the result of a patient, organic growth strategy. It was the compounding interest of thousands of smart, small decisions, reinvesting profits, optimizing processes, building a genuine brand, and most importantly, having the courage to shift from thinking like an employee to thinking like an owner. Conclusion. Every million-dollar business was once just an idea, a seed planted in the late hours, watered with necessity, and nurtured by passion. Alex's story is a blueprint that shows the potential hidden inside so many of our own side hustles. It's a testament to the power of patience in a world that demands instant results. It proves that the most sustainable empires are often built not with a single giant leap, but with 1,000 deliberate steps. Success comes from the strategic reinvestment of your first profits, the discipline to optimize your time, and the vision to build a brand that people love. It begins when you stop seeing your project as just a side hustle and start seeing it as the business it could one day become. What seed are you planting right now? Share your side hustle or your business goal in the comments below. Let's build the future of work together. Yeah. And for more blueprints on turning passion into profit, make sure you subscribe to GenShift.